Excellent. So let's talk through succession. And this is something that really has to be factored in. And there's a lot of ownership transitions going on right now, just simply due to the demographics that we talked about earlier. So how can an incentive comp program be integrated with ownership succession planning? Starting at most of the beginning, I look at it in two levels. Of one, it helps educate people and turn them into thinking like business owners. And secondly, it can go into funding. And so if you could start from the top of that and really just take that one apart a little bit further.
Sure. So really, I would go. I'm frankly not quite sure which one goes first. If it's the thinking as the business owner or the funding, because without the funding and without understanding really financially where the company sits, and if it's a program really that can really be integrated, you got to wonder how viable your business may continue to be, right? Or if there's some other type of incentive program. But I guess if we go back to thinking as business owners, really it gets to where it's not just the founder any longer. It's not just the first or second or third generation of leadership. It becomes part of the culture. It is something where people are looking at it every single day, looking at as people move up into the company, that their incentive may change, whether that's a bonus program, whatever that might be, right, as part of the incentive program. They can see how that changes as their role in succession moves, as others people's role in their succession moves. And incentive programs sometimes can be either funded directly through the company. They can be maybe a buy-in of stock ownership. It can be a ghost ownership. It can be many types of things. And those things really need to be thought through. Again, what's the culture of the company? Is there a skin in the game type of mentality? And are those that are moving, look like they're moving up in the pipeline, moving into some of those roles that will be emptying in the future, are they prepared for that same level of involvement that maybe the current people sitting in those organizational chart boxes are? Some of that can really have a large weight on how an incentive program is put together. And again, we get back to the funding. The funding can be, are people buying in? Is there a way to really almost like IPO, so to speak? Or is it just a cash flow outlay? And have they really looked at what that cash flow looks like? Do you really have your CFO involved? And is that part of the succession planning discussion? So those are the ways I look at it. Courtney, I'm sure you've got some other ideas.
One of the things that I have a little bit of passion about is the art of selling or buying anything. But one of the, logically, just standing back, if you were to buy a construction company of any type, you would want to know that the organization that you're buying into is functioning at an optimal level, including and especially a plan for succession at every level, from the field to supervision to project management perhaps, and so on throughout the organization. And an incentive program that is aligned top to bottom in the organization, communicated consistently from the top, like Sue talked about before, it makes your company, if you're looking at how are we going to fund the owner's exit from the company, it gives you a fantastic lever to pull on, demonstrating value in the organization. If you are thinking about maybe like an ESOP, an employee-owned type of succession plan for exit of ownership, it still is right in alignment with a great incentive program, well-defined program. It adds value to the business, and it secures your value stream as the selling party. From the buying party, if I'm going to buy a business, I really want to know that that business is sustainable with or without the current ownership. And if your incentive program has been working and it's been delivering measurable results, and your employees have been growing in their career, and they're happy, and they're working together as a team, an incentive program doesn't do all that by itself, but it is it's an arrow in the quiver that is a really important foundational type of thing. So that makes your business a lot more attractive to buyers, regardless of how it's structured, and it also makes it more secure to the buyers because they know the company can thrive even without ownership, and there's succession happening at every single level. And an incentive program supports that. A good one.
Excellent insight. So moving to we got a few more questions left here, and